Chapter 14. He's wearing his army camouflage shirt, a brown cap, and the weirdest grin that could fit on a human's face. Woo-wee! He says, holding the rifle up with one hand as he plows through the weeds. I got her! Woo-wee! I know he wasn't out shooting rabbits and happened to get a doe instead, because he doesn't have his hounds with him. Judge Harris had gone out that morning with clear intention of getting himself a deer. I also know if the game warden finds out about this, Judd's in big trouble, because the deer he shot is out of season. Wasn't even a buck. He slugs over the high-waist weeds to where the doe lays. Bending over, he looks at her, walks around her a little piece, then says, "Woo-wee!" again, soft-like. That's when I come out of the woods. He's got his back to me now, his hands on the doe's front legs, trying to see can he pull her himself. Drags her up a little way and stops, and then looks up again. I'm right beside him. He whirls around. "Where'd you come from?" he says. "Was on my way over to see you," I tell him, and for the first time standing next to Judge Travers, I feel taller than I really am. He looks at me a moment like he don't know if he's glad I'm there or not, and then I guess he figures, me being there, only kid don't matter. "Look what I got," he says. "Found her eating in my garden this morning. I chased her over here." "That's a lie," I say. "I was back in the woods watching her eat. She was coming down from the hills the other way. You went out deer hunting for anything you could get." "Well, supposin' I did," says Judge Travers, and he hates me worse than snot. "Deer ain't in season, that's what," I answer. "That's a $200 fine for killing a doe." Judge Travers is staring like he's about to crack me across the mouth. Way we're raised around here, children don't talk back to grown folks. Don't hardly talk much at all, in fact. Learn to listen, keep your mouth shut, let the grown folks do the talking. And here I am shooting off my mouth at 5:30 in the morning to a man holding a rifle. Am I crazy or what? "Not unless the game warden finds out." "There's not," Judge says. "And who's going to tell him? You?" All at once I realize I got Judge Travers right where I want him. One way you look at it, it's my duty to report a killed doe. The way folks look at it, though, that's snitching, and if I could tell, but bargain not to. It's something else again. It's blackmail. But like I said, I've got the place I'd do most anything to save Shiloh. "Yeah," I say, my heart pounding like crazy. "I'll tell. There's a free number to call." And there is, too. It's on Dad's hunting regulation papers. Boy, I sure didn't know I was going to step into all this when I came up here this morning. When Judd's looking at me good, eyes narrowed down to little slits. "Your pa put you up to this?" "No, this is me talking." "Well, ain't you something now? And who's to believe you?" "I'll get the game warden up here, show him the spot the doe was hit, the blood, and where he finds the deer at your place, he'll believe me." The words are coming out quicker than I think, almost. "I'll tell him he was eating my garden." And I'll say different. The new game warden won't make any allowances, even if the deer was eating your garden. You just shot deer out of season, no way, especially a doe. Then Judd's real angry, and his words come at me like bees. "What you trying to do, boy? Start trouble? You think I can't put you in your place mighty quick?" "So what you gonna do?" I ask. "Shoot me?" Travers is so surprised, his jaw drops. But I'm cooking now. Nothing can stop me. Braver than I ever been in my life. "Going to shoot me like that dog I found up here 6 months back with a bullet in his head?" Travers stares some more. "I know whose bullet that was, Judd, and I told Dad, and if folks find me up here with a bullet in me, Dad'll know whose bullet that is, too." I can't hardly believe the words coming out of my mouth. Been scared most of my life of Judge Travers, and here I am, half his size, talking like a grown person. It's because I know Shiloh's still got a chance. "So what you waiting for?" Judd says finally. "Go get the game warden." And when I don't move, he says, "Come off it, Marty. Here, you take one of those legs, I'll take the other. We'll drag it to my place, and I'll give you half the meat. And you don't tell me your ma won't be glad to see it." I don't want the meat. I want Shiloh. Now Judd's real surprised and whistles through his teeth. "Boy, you just come up here to set me up, didn't you?" "Didn't have an idea in this world you were out with a rifle," I tell him, and that's one of the first truths I told in 2 weeks. "I come up here because it's Sunday, the day you said to bring your dog back, and I wanted you to know you got to fight me first to get him. Now I'm telling you I mean to keep him, and I expect to keep, and you expect to keep that deer without a fine. I'll make the trade." "Whoa," says Travers. That's no kind of trade at all. If I hadn't got me this deer this morning, what would you have bargained with?" I didn't have an answer for that because I hadn't been thinking about a deal. Judd had already said he wouldn't sell Shiloh. Judd's eyes narrowed down even more till it's almost like he's asleep. "I just bet you would tell the game warden too. Jesus' name I would. And you're saying if I let you keep my hunting dog, you're going to keep this deer a secret?" I begin to see I'm no better than Judge Travers, willing to look the other way to get something I want, but that something is Shiloh. "Yes, I will," I tell him, not feeling all that great about it. "Well, you got to do more than that, boy, because I paid $35 for that dog, and I want 40 to let him go." For the first time I see a thin ray of hope that maybe he'll let me buy Shiloh. "I'll get you the money somehow, by," I promise. "I don't want the money by and by. I want it now, and you haven't got it now. You work for me and pay it off. You make a deal with Judge Travers, and you're only 11, you get what you get. But all I'm thinking is, dog." "You got a bargain," I tell Judd, and now my feet want to dance. My face wants to smile, and I don't dare let the daylight show through. "You listen here," says Judd. "I'll pay you $2 an hour, and that comes to 20 hours to earn $40. And the work ain't easy." "I'll do it," I say. "Begin it now," says Judd, and I can tell he's getting a bit edgy that someone else might come through the field, wandering about those rifle shots, and see how he got a doe. "Help me get this deer to my trailer." I'm so glad to be getting Shiloh I can hardly think straight, but I'm thinking straight enough as I help drag that doe to Judd's to know that he'd be letting him get away with this. I'm putting the other deer in danger. He'll kill this one out of season. He'll figure maybe he can kill some more. To save Shiloh, I'm making it hard for the deer. I swallow. All I gotta do, though, is think of the way he'd look at me, and I'd ever give back to Judd, and then I get on with my job. When we get to the trailer at last, we carry the deer around to the three-sided shed Judd's got in his backyard. First thing Judd does is bleed the doe, keep the meat from spoiling. Then he goes out and messes up the tracks with his foot, kicking up the grass where he matted it down and covering the trail of blood with dust. "I get home from work every day at 3, Judd says, "and I want you here when I pull up. You work for me 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I want that wood back there stacked. I want the weeds cut and the grass mowed. I want my beans picked and the corn hoed. Whatever I think of to be done, that's what you do. And I want you here starting tomorrow." "I'll be here," I say, "but I want it in writing that after I do 20 hours of work, Shiloh belongs to me." Travers grunts and goes to his trailer. He comes out with a piece of grocery sack and words, "Beagle hunting dog to Marty Preston for 20 hours work, J. Travers." It occurs to me suddenly that maybe after I do the work, he'll try to pay me off with one of his other dogs. "Write Shiloh," I tell him. He gives me a pained look and crosses out Beagle, writes Shiloh in his place. But don't spell it right, leaving off the H at the end. I take the paper and put it in my pocket. "I'll be here tomorrow," I say. "Don't you ever tell anyone about this deer, boy. You're going to be more'n sorry you opened your lips." "You got my word," I say, which, considering all the lying I've been doing lately, didn't seem like it accounted to much. It did, though. I walk away from Judd's trailer in a sort of a zigzag line, half expecting a bullet in my back any moment, even though I'm pretty sure he wouldn't. Soon as I'm out of sight, though, I race through the woods, heart going thumpity thump. Can't keep the smile back no longer. "Shiloh's mine." The words keep coming back again and again. He's safe. Should even feel more joy, though. Thought once I could get Shiloh on my own, it'd be the finest day of my life. In a way it is. In a way it isn't. Could be Judd giving in 'cause he couldn't think of nothing else at the moment to do. Said I could have Shiloh just 'cause he needed some help with that deer. Could be that once he got rid of the evidence, he'd tell me to go ahead and get the warden. That I wasn't to have the dog. Could even say he never wrote that on a grocery sack, that I wrote it myself. I don't think so, though. What worries me most is that Judd could go through with the bargain, give Shiloh to me, and then one day, when Shiloh's running free in the woods by himself, Judd might put a bullet in his head, just to spite me.